I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Black Wealth Renaissance Podcast. Your boy, David BWR, 1/4 of the Black Wealth Renaissance, checking in with my co-hosts. Fellas, how y'all feeling?
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Jalen, man. Feeling great. It's another great Saturday, man. I can't wait to just get into this one.
Ooh.
I'm having a great day, man. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Very thankful, man.
Yeah.
It's just some blessings going on, man. Yeah, man.
Sure. Yeah, how you living, bro?
Man, I'm chilling, dog. I'm good. Off this weekend, getting some work done and stuff. Man, I'm just happy. I'm still eating on some Thanksgiving leftovers. I still feel groggy.
Got that microwave working overtime.
Man, what?
Hey, man, I don't know about y'all, man. My Thanksgiving dinner, it was too much food, bro. I was like, golly, dog, y'all.
Hey, man, we got to talk about that too, man. Just the spirit of Thanksgiving and how much food that just really go to waste, man. Like, that's ridiculous.
It is. It's some nonsense, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. Look, y'all, before we get to the episode, as always, y'all make sure that y'all subscribe, rate, comment, leave a review. If you're new, let us know how you feel about the podcast. Let us know your feedback. We love to serve y'all, give y'all the information that y'all need. Yeah. With that out the way, y'all, I am excited to introduce our guest this week, man. We got us a great brother up out of Chicago. He is a business tax strategist and a consultant. My brother Carter Cofield of Cofield Concepts. Carter, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, y'all, and I really appreciate being here with you all today. Not many people are willing to take time out their Saturday to give people some knowledge, so I really applaud you, brothers, for doing that. And I apologize for not having my typical office set up, but I'm visiting family right now, so I found a quiet room with some okay lighting. So I hope that'll work.
Hey, we appreciate you taking the time out, my
man.
brother. Like you said, you enjoying your time with your family. You ain't got to take the time away to give people the game. But, man, this is about to be something special, bro.
Yeah, man, we got to give you some hand claps for that, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate you for coming through and just taking that time off and really just helping us out and really just getting into this, man.
You know, I canceled the flight for y'all, you know, so to make sure I was here today. No, I'm kidding.
I forgot about the flight.
Yeah, we got to make sure we bring the value.
Yeah, man, we got to make sure this is some heat.
Right.
Let's get ready to hop into things, Carter. So we just want to ask you, like, can you get an audience like a brief introduction to your background, like how you got started into the whole business tax industry?
Yeah, man. So I grew up on the south side of Chicago, man. And with like modest means, basic poverty. It was like 9 of us that went home as a shorty, you know. And then I graduated 8th grade in 2005, and it was around the recession. No, I graduated. It was around the recession. No, I graduated high school. I'm sorry, around 2009. It was the time of the recession, right? And so I'm watching like my parents lose their jobs, like friends lose their jobs. So I literally Googled what job has the lowest unemployment rate, and CPA was the number one job. So I was like, well, I know what I'm going to college for. So I went to U of I to become an accountant because they had a good accounting program. And I literally picked my profession off of not wanting to be unemployed and not wanting to suffer like I saw everybody else suffering. So got my accounting degree, got my CPA, worked at like the big 4 companies. KPMG was one of them. And I was like, this is cool, but like, this is boring. So I eventually went out to start my own business because I wanted to help entrepreneurs save on taxes and build financial strategies and well-being. And then I created Cofield's Concepts to really bring the value to the audience and to the people for free. So that's a short journey of how I got to where I am. But I think I'm just getting started.
Hey, man, that's a beautiful journey, though. And it's really cool how you had the foresight whenever you graduated to Google, you know, who's the least unemployed here? Because there's a lot of people who were not thinking like that. And were you like kind of instructed? Did you have like a teacher or a counselor who maybe was like, you know, hey Carter, go check this out. Make sure, you know, Google what's some of the hottest jobs right now. Or you just had that on your own and you was just like, hey, I know I don't want to be like the people I see around me.
Yeah. So what happened with me? So my parents died when I was 16. So I grew up earlier than my friends. And people like give me that look like I feel sorry for you. But honestly, to me, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because like when my friends were partying, like, I had to grow up at 16. So for me, it was like, I need to have stability. And like around 2009, that was the last thing you saw was stability around the recession. So it was up to me to like, Google, like Google was a thing. You can Google anything. And I just Google what I wanted because I knew I was good at math, but I wanted a career that had really a lot of stability, which I think a lot of people do, especially during COVID. And CPA came up, and I'm really glad because the skill set of accounting can transfer to so many different other things.
Hey man, that's beautiful, bro. And I kind of want to talk about like once you were getting ready to go to college, how did you start navigating through that? Whenever you got into the accounting program, did you have some second thoughts, or were you like, you know what, I really like this, I'm going head in? Because I was a business major, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I got an accountant, I was like, bro, what is this?
The transition from high school to college was one of the hardest transitions I ever made in my life. The work was so hard. It was so rigorous, and my GPA wasn't good enough to get into the College of Business, so I had to like transfer over. So I had one shot. If I didn't get 3.6 my freshman year, I would not have gotten in. So I locked in, made friends with all the counselors. I was a nerd my freshman year, but it paid off. After that I got in, I was able to get things done. But dude, to your point, those business classes in college somebody needs to mentally prepare you for that. Like the psychiatrist needs to sit you down, like, yo, you might get a D, but it's okay. Like,
nah, but for real though, man, they got definitely some courses. Economics is another one. I was just like, bro,
dude, econ. Oh, Jesus,
man, bro.
But like even with that, it pays to go through even all that, like you said, because that skill set that you come out with on the other side of, like you said, with accounting, is so broad. Like, what are some of the other ways that, like, just because for somebody listening that you can like branch out as an accountant? Because you see CPA, but CPAs do a lot of different things.
No, that's a great point. If you have accounting knowledge, you can literally, I think you can do anything. You could be a business advisor. You could be an accountant. You could be a tax strategist. You could be a financial reporter. I mean, like the fundamentals of knowing the ins and outs of money. You could be an investment advisor, right? You can do like so many things that you can do once you understand the fundamentals of accounting, and the numbers tell a story. And most people are not able to interpret what their numbers are saying. So you can literally be hired as a virtual CFO, right? And step into somebody's business and help them understand that their numbers. So I want to help change the narrative of accounting as this boring profession where you have the green visor and you just snap it, doing numbers, right? You can literally do some amazing things with this type of background knowledge.
And while you were working at the Big Four, how did you know which way you wanted to navigate? Like, what made you say, okay, I want to take this path and I want to help people with their tax strategies and reducing their tax liabilities?
Yeah. So working at Big Four was cool, but our work didn't make a difference, right? We were helping these multi-billion-dollar companies, right? Like, didn't make a difference. And, I watched so many, especially African-American people start businesses, right? But they were running businesses off of doing what they love to do, but they didn't really understand the ins and outs of their business. They didn't understand how to read their numbers. They didn't understand how to pay for taxes. So once I saw those people in my community, I started doing it for free first. I would come into the office, say, hey, I'll sit down with you for an hour or two and help you understand your numbers, because I wanted to practice too. And I started doing that after work. And I fell in love with it so much that one day I was just like, man, I'm out of here. So I quit my job. And then I booked a 1-week flight to London, because if I didn't leave the country, I was so scared when I quit my job. If I didn't leave the country, I would have tried to get my job back. So I had to literally leave. So I didn't go back. And I swear, when I was quitting my job, I was sweating, but it turned out well.
Can you kind of like talk about that experience? Like,
I feel you on that one.
I had to do it too. So like, what was that like the day that you was like, you know what, I can't do this no more?
So the day I went to quit, I was like, walking into the office, and I'm telling my boss I'm quitting. I did push-ups before work. I walked into the office, and then like I got to work, and I was like, well, like, he's in a meeting. Let me get some coffee first. And then like lunch came around. I was like, well, after lunch, I've got it, And then like I had a meeting. Like the first day I just didn't do it. And I was so mad at myself. And the next day I just went in like, if you don't do this now, you're never going to do it. So the next day I went in and I quit. And then the next morning I remember like waking up in sweats. Like, did I really just do that? So my friend, he's a traveler. He made me book a flight with him to go to London to get my mind off things. And when I came back, I was ready to start.
And what was it like processing that, like while you were in London? Like
I feel like that trip help, like whenever you were detached from actually being there.
Yeah, when you detach and understand the other important things of life outside of like your job, right? You know, like this, and you get a taste of freedom, right? You get a taste of freedom. Like, what if I can do this often? Like, you know, average person gets 2 weeks off work. Like, what if I can like do this for a month or for 2 months? So it gave me a taste of freedom. And to this day, pre-COVID, I take 3 1-month trips out the country to remind myself why I did this, right, in the first place. So it really helped me get a taste of freedom and understand it's bigger things in life than just working 9 to 5 or working Monday through Friday and then having the weekends to look forward to.
Hey man, that's a blessing, bro. And how long have you been on this journey?
So I started my business in July of 2017. So was a little over 3 years now?
Hey man, congratulations, my brother.
No, I mean, like, I'm glad that you understand how scared I was. You know,
Yeah,
like,
because like back at the end of 2019, both of us we had quit our jobs, and like that's a thing, bro. Like the idea of leaving from something secure that 2 weeks, like you might have felt like this for a long time. Like, man, I'm about to get up out of here, But like whenever you get to that moment, it's like, damn,
yeah, man. Like I'm really about
to
do
this
this.
Check not that bad. You know, I do kind of like having this money coming in, though. But
right. So, do you all regret it at all?
Nah, not at all.
Exactly. Man. That's the answer. It's so scary. But like Will Smith has a quote: "God puts the best things of life right on the other side of your biggest fear." Thanks. So we had this fear, right, that we've been, this job that we've been so scared to quit, and then right on the other side, we're like, yo, why did I do this 2 years ago, right? Like it's crazy.
But and I also kind of want to talk to what it was like whenever you came back and you realized, I'm really on my own now. Mm-hmm. How did you attack that? And how did you go about, okay, now it's eat what I kill, or I'm a starve?
Yeah, man. So I think it goes to knowing yourself, right? I know who I am when my back's against the wall, because I had that parental experience. I know that I'm my best version of myself when my back's against the wall. And at least for me, knowing that I had 24 hours a day to work on what I wanted to do was just surreal, because, if you can work 12 hours a day for somebody else, you better be willing to do it for yourself, right? Like Jim Rohn has a quote: never work harder, always work harder on yourself than you're doing your job, right? So for me, it was realizing that if I could put in 12 hours a day, which I was putting in the KPMG, I better be willing to put in 14 hours a day for myself. And so that's what it was, man.
Hey, man, I love it. And that's got to be that spirit. That's got to be the thought that you have if you really want to be committed to taking that step, because not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. But if you do want to become an entrepreneur, if you don't have those type of thoughts that I'm going to go harder for myself than what I'm going for over here, being an entrepreneur isn't, I'm going to show up to work at 12 o'clock and work until 2 o'clock. And then I'm just going to go home and make a whole lot of money. It doesn't work like that
at all. And you all just said it, like the discipline it takes to be an entrepreneur. It's so, surreal to think like your life is in your hands, right? Mm-hmm. And you get out what you put in, right? So you reap what you sow. So if you put in 3 hours a day, that's what will be your results. But if you're putting in 12, 14 hours a day, you might not see the results right now, but I'm still reaping some fruits of my labor back from 2017, so you never know when it's going to hit, but you just got to be persistent and stay disciplined, man.
And I like how you said that, man. You still reaping from 2017. Sometimes you got to realize what you're planting. You're planting seeds. Seeds don't grow overnight. Sometimes seeds might take a season to grow. Sometimes it might take a few years for it to become a tree, and then it's going to start nurturing you forever. So I like how you just said that, man.
Yeah, I mean, you put it better than I just said it, man. You over there. But yeah, man, I think that if other people just know that all it takes is a little bit of discipline and dedication, I don't think they would be as scared to take the leap as we were when we did it.
For the listeners, so how did that rebuild process look when you came back from that week? Like, how are you going forward as far as like, still having bills, still having things to cover? Like, what did that look like as well?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question, because I think it's a very, very vital part about the story. I don't want to tell all the good without telling the bad, right? So, first of all, I had 13 months of expenses saved. So I knew I had money, and I remember
you
calling myself
prepped.
I prepped, and so my expenses were only about $1,000 a month because I did have a car rental company on the side. I was renting a couple cars out on Turo, and look, so infamous CPA with that course, it's crazy. That stuff works. So I had my Turo car situation, and my deficit was about $1,000 a month. So I had about 13K saved. So if barring me doing anything stupid, right, I had 13 months of money to live off of. Because I want to tell everybody this: building a business is hard enough. You don't need paying your bills to be another thing on your mind, right? Being a business owner is hard enough, so you don't need bills stressing you out on top of the natural stress that comes with starting a business. So I did make sure I had some money put aside when starting my business. So when I came back, I didn't make $1 until 4 months in, right?
Yeah.
Which is scary, right? And I had a mentor. He told me he was a Harvard Business School grad, one of the first Black graduates there. He said he didn't make $1 for his first 4.5 months of business. So if I made $1 before him, I'm doing better than the Harvard Business School grad. So he gave me that mindset that it's okay. But yeah, dude, I didn't make $1 for the first 4 months. Petrified, scared, working my butt off. But again, though planting those seeds, I'm getting clients now from people that I reached out to back in the day. So Jared, I'm so glad you asked, because the beginning was ugly. The beginning was scary. I was eating ramen noodles. I was saving up. But it panned out. So I want to tell people, like, you should have a reserve, because you don't want to worry about paying rent while you're trying to build your business.
And I'm glad you spoke to that. Yeah, because like you said, that 4 months, sometimes it take people 9, 12 months to really turn profit, because if you really don't understand or don't have any prior business acumen, any prior business skills, it's really hard for you to get really going, because you got to understand how to set up stuff, how to become legal. Now things in the digital age, if you want to sell online, you have to educate yourself through the e-commerce process. Or if you're just going to be brick and mortar, you got to start cold calling people. You got to do something to get this business within there. And a lot of times that first interaction with someone, they're not going to immediately become your client. And it's crazy that you said that, because you said you were helping people already before you quit your job. So I would have thought that you already had a warm lead of people who are going to be like, okay, I see the value this man is bringing me. Let me pay him for this. But it's still crazy that you said that 4 months in, you still didn't make anything, and you already had the proven track record of helping people prior to it.
Yeah, and if people say yes for free, but when money's on the table, it becomes a different story. But I do encourage everybody to do work for free. So I created this masterclass for free, and I'll tell you all about it later. But doing pro bono work is one of the best things you can do, because it does 3 very important things. 1, it allows you to practice, right? You're going to suck when you start out. If you didn't know that already, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be that good when you first start out. So it gives you practice. 2, it builds leads. Now those leads might come later, but you're building warm relationships with people for doing free work. And then 3, when you do mess up, because you will, if you mess up for free, people are less upset at you because they knew they signed up for some free work. So for me, it gave me practice. It helped me build relationships. It helped me get my name out there. So to your point, it took 4 months, but then one of those clients eventually came back and was like, hey, I actually do want to hire you. And it was one of the happiest days of my life. You know what I'm saying? So I do encourage pro bono work, but it still could be a struggle.
And like you said, but I just kind of want to even emphasize, like, even when you're going in and doing all this, like we talked about, having that emergency fund one more time, man. Because, like, I think anybody thinking about entrepreneurship, that's like number one always. Like, if you're gonna say F you to the boss, make sure you got that
F you fun.
Because to the point of this, like, he had clients technically, and it still took a while. Like, it's gonna take a while no matter what you're doing.
Absolutely. You have this dream that when you open your doors, the client's going to rush in, but it rarely works out like that.
Hey, man, even to the story of like Kanye West in one of his first fashion shows, nobody showed up. Like, and he was like, this is good. Like, I'm going to make them like want this. And look at him now, like his Yeezy brand is doing crazy things. So like, even some of the most successful people, they didn't start off with 1 million or even 1,000, 100 people signing up for them. We all start with 0. Like, even on social media, you start with 0. You have to build up.
Yeah. And Jen, I love that you brought that up, because it's an iceberg mentality, right? People only see the top of the iceberg, but they don't see the work you put in underneath, the years. And, you know, people look at me now, like, oh, you're successful, but they didn't know about the 4-month story. They didn't know my first year I was $30,000 in credit card debt, right? They don't know that part. They see the success now. So I'm really happy that we're talking about this, because I hate giving a false narrative of a story. I love to show people the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the beginning is ugly, for at least it was for me. And that's okay, because it builds character. Like you said, it builds resilience. And then, you know, it's hard to enjoy the view at the top of the mountain without remembering the deep valleys that you went through, right? So that for me.
Hey, man, this brother here preaching.
So for me, that's helpful, man.
Hey, man, I love that, man. I even like the fact that you just brought up like the credit card debt, because a lot of people don't understand. Like, that's another thing that you can do if you're really becoming an entrepreneur, because a lot of people think that, you know, this credit score is like, it's it for life. Mm-hmm. If you really know how to prepare yourself, you can get yourself access to a whole lot of money that you can kind of live off of for a little while. Because I'm not going to lie to you. Like, once you learn that and have that access, I've used it like, hey, it's kind of hard times. Let me tap into what I have. I have this access to this capital on the back end, but I know that I'm striving for something. I'm working for it. Once I get back on my feet, hey, I'm gonna pay this stuff off, and then I'm gonna get my credit back. A bad credit score won't last you for life, but you got to know how to work around it.
Absolutely.
And the fundamentals. Shout out, hey, check out Credit Fundamentals. Link is in the show notes.
There you go.
But no. Okay, so I do kind of want to hop back into some more stuff though with you, Carter. So one thing I did kind of, you touched on earlier was tax strategy. I kind of wanted to hop into tax strategy more, because a lot of people think taxes is just a year in thing, like,
and that's why they get paid.
I'm only supposed to deal with my CPA from in tax season, basically. Like, I ain't got to talk to you. Like, so can you speak to the importance of tax planning and kind of like what a tax strategy is?
Yes. Where do I want to start? So first of all, taxes is everyone's number one expense, right? The average person pays 40% of their lifetime income in taxes. So like, that's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Bring that back.
You said how much?
The average person pays over 40% of their lifetime income in taxes.
God damn.
So if you make $1 million in your lifetime, which most people do, you're paying $400,000 to Uncle Sam. That's so taxes is everyone's largest expense. So my thing is, what would you do with 40% of your money back? Right? How better would your life be if you drop that 40% to 10, to 5, to 0? Like, you know, and I want to educate people that you can do something about it, but you have to first understand the rules of the game. You know,
and can you kind of break down how they're paying that 40%? Because a lot of times people just look at taxes on the income tax side. The income tax side, but they're not looking at the amount of taxes that you're paying as a consumer also.
Mm-hmm. So you have the average federal tax rate is 25%, right? Then you have your state tax rate. You're all in Dallas, so you don't have to worry about that. But Illinois is about 10%. So now we're about 35%. And then you have self-employment taxes, right? FICA, right? Social Security. That's another 15.3% on top of everything else. And we haven't even talked about like sales tax, property tax, right? You can destroy in taxes if you're not paying attention. So I want people to understand that, like, the one, that taxes is their number one expense, and two, that if they're smart or if they have a CPA in the corner, they can lower that expense dramatically. Because the tax code is nothing but an incentivized game, right? And you can't win any game unless you know the rules. So you either need to learn the rules yourself or pay somebody who does.
Hey man, that's some bars right there. And I kind of want to talk about like how having that CPA is really just that hack for you, because y'all know the game so much more and you're able to help people out. But a lot of times people are like, oh no, this is illegal, I shouldn't be doing this. But they don't understand, like you're saying, it's a game. Like, there's things that's put in place for you to help reduce your tax strategy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I tell people like this all the time. Whenever I'm speaking about taxes, I tell them like, hey, the tax code is made to benefit entrepreneurs and investors. It's not made to benefit employees, right? So either you can complain or you can join the right team. And I'm not telling people to go quit their jobs and become an entrepreneur, but you can start a side gig. You can rent out a property on Airbnb. You can rent out your car on Turo. These side hustles allow you to become a part of the entrepreneur or business owner quadrant. And the reason why the tax code benefits us entrepreneurs is because we bring jobs to the workplace. We're better in the economy. So if we do what the tax code wants us to do, they'll benefit us. And the biggest misconception about taxes is that people think like tax time is like January through April, right? It's tax time. But tax saving time is October through December. Because after the year closes, you can't do anything no more. After 12/31, you can't go back and fix anything. So you need to be thinking about tax saving strategies in the last quarter of the year.
Hey man, that's very important. Right. So is this only for business owners, or is this for like pretty much anyone in general?
This is for anyone in general, right? Like, I mean, you can have a 9-to-5 job, right? And you can rent out your car on Turo, right? And now you're making a couple $100s, but now you get to depreciate your car. You get to write off your insurance. You get to write off car washes, repairs. You get to now deduct all these expenses that you had personally now as a business expense, and you can lower your tax bill dramatically.
And for this, to receive this, they don't need to make an actual business structure, right? They just need that 1099 form.
Exactly. You don't need to be any LLC, S corp. You could be a sole proprietor. You can be just, again, once you get that 1099, you're officially a business owner. And one of the favorite things I love telling people about is that once you do this, there are so many personal expenses of things that you're already paying for that immediately become tax deductible once you start making some side income.
Could you
give
maybe
some more examples?
Yeah, like maybe like the top 5 things that people overlook that could be written off as a tax benefit.
Yeah, I actually just tweeted about this yesterday for Black Friday. So one is your cell phone. Cell phone is definitely a personal expense that becomes deductible. 2 is any car expenses. 3 is your you can do Apple Watch, right? So like Apple Watch is tax deductible. Another personal expense is your internet, car insurance. What else? Your shopping. You can actually deduct some of your shopping expenses. You can deduct some of your flights and hotels. These are expenses that you're already paying for. That once you become a business owner, they move from regular expense to business expense. Because if somebody calls you on your personal phone. If somebody calls you on your personal phone for business, that's now a business phone, right? If you drive your car to a business meeting, that car is not a personal car. That car is a business car now. So just educating people on stuff like that.
Okay, because I did want to ask you more about that, because I remember that's actually how I was introduced to you. I booked a consultation with you. I had bought a car in my business, and somebody said something along the lines of, "Hey man, you better make sure like something with tax fraud." And I'm like, "Hey man, like people really just think about it like that. Like they always think you can't do this." So can you like speak to that a little bit? Like what is that? You think like why people do that?
Well, it's simple. People fear what they don't understand. Right. So people are naturally fearful of things that they don't understand. So they're more hesitant to do so. But if you are an expert or you are working with an expert and that expert tells you it's okay, then it's okay. I don't take financial advice from my homie who works at T-Mobile, right? That's not where I get my financial advice from. But I get my advice from people that I know are experts. So I think that fear just comes from not knowing, and I want to cancel that fear by educating people more.
I did want to ask, while you were and I know this is kind of rewinding, but while you were in that rebuilding phase, or even currently, do you still have your rental cars, or are you still renting your cars on Turo?
Yeah, so I had my rental cars for a minute. I actually just sold them all because I'm moving to California, but those rental cars helped me through the business. They helped me get that. They actually gave me the freedom. And this is why I want to encourage people to hang out with other entrepreneur friends, because I had one friend that was doing it and he talked me into it. But all my other friends thought I was crazy when I was going to these dealerships and buying my 4th car to rent out. But my entrepreneur friend gave me the peace of mind to go forward. And, years later, those same friends that thought I was crazy are now asking me how to do it. So I think that, hanging out with entrepreneurs and hanging out with like-minded people is so, so very important.
That car game is crazy. We got a rental car too. I'm actually looking at getting another one just cause like it's such an easy way to create cash flow. We always talk about like creating cash flow and making money. Like you said, that really buoyed you through. You can probably get like $200-300 cash flow off a car. Like people
way more than that.
What type of cars you was getting?
So I was getting economy cars. I had a few luxury cars, but the economy cars people were renting to drive Uber with. So the note was like $300, but I was probably clearing $1,100 a month.
Damn.
So
we undercharging people.
Well, I mean, it's a little saturated now. I was doing it in the early days, so it was, it was kind of monopoly, but now it's kind of saturated. But I think the point of it is there is no shortage of ways to make money. We just have to be, hang out with the right people, be smart about it. But the best part about it, and I know we talked about real estate earlier, is there's nothing better than making money in real life, but like losing money on your tax return, if that makes sense.
Break that down.
Yeah, I mean, I need you to break. I need you to dissect that for me, man.
Okay, so let's talk about the car rental business, right? So let's say you make $6,000 a year in profit from your car rental business, right? You made money in real life cash flow, but on your tax return, after all your deductions, you might lose money. So let's say your car insurance was $2,000 for the year, but then your repairs was another $1,000, but then you get what's called depreciation, and the depreciation is just the IRS gives you a deduction for the potential wear and tear of your car. So your depreciation deduction could be $4,000 a year, right? So now you made $6,000 in real life, but you might lose $8,000. So you have a net loss on your tax return for $2,000. So this is, you could actually make money in real life, but on paper, it sounds like you're losing money. So now you're making tax-free money. This is kind of what I talk about in the course that I created. And it's even better in real estate, right? So if you I just closed on a property that was $500,000, and the IRS gives you an automatic deduction. So you take the cost of your building divided by 27.5, and that is your depreciation deduction. So I think for me, it's about $15,000 a year. So I can make $12,000 in rental income, but my depreciation expense is going to be $15,000. So I'm going to lose money on my tax return, but I'm going to make money in real life.
Tax-free money.
Tax-free money.
So whenever you have that negative 15, what happens to that 3 that's left over? How does that like affect you? They're not going to pay you back. So how does that work?
So that $3,000 that loss, I can deduct that from any other income. So let's say my course income is $3,000, right? Now that loss can take my course income from $3,000 down to 0. Or if you don't have any income, you can carry that loss forward to a future year, and you can deduct that loss in the future.
See, and that's
how Donahue was talking about how that back 2 forward 20.
And that's how like the wealthy play the game, though, right? Because they have these complexes that's worth whatever and so much rentals that if you're able to do this at 15 for about 30 of them, what are you looking at now?
And that's, I love you said that's the name of the game. The wealthy are not wealthy because they're they had better circumstances than us, and that could be the case sometimes. But they're wealthy people stay wealthy because they have knowledge, or they surround themselves with people that have the knowledge, right? And if they don't know the rules of the game, they're gonna find somebody that does. They go pay that person well to save them money, right? So what I want to do is I want to bring this knowledge to my people. So like, the community. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. A lot of people can't afford expensive CPAs, expensive lawyers. A lot of people can't afford me. So I wanted to give out this information on podcasts and in courses and stuff like that, because everybody deserves this information, whether they can afford it or not. And I believe that if we can bridge the wealth gap by giving knowledge.
Hey man, that's powerful right there, bro. And I kind of want to talk about what it looks like with you working with some of your clients. Like, what does it take for them to work with you? Like, is there something that you're looking for? Like, because I know a lot of people, they have certain criteria before they work with someone. Is there certain things that you're looking for to say, okay, I know this is a client that I would like to work for, or I can give you this information, but I just don't think we're going to be a right fit?
Yeah. So for me, I pick my clients based on personality. So like right now I work with all creatives. So writers, artists, entertainers, stuff like that, because they are fun people. And at this point, I'm not even taking on new clients right now because I don't have the capacity to, and I'm kind of happy. But that's why I created my tax-free living course, because I felt like it's unfair for people not to have this knowledge just because they can't afford me, or just because they don't fit my criteria who I want to work with. So let me find a way to give this knowledge in an affordable way. So when quarantine happened, I sat down and I really took all the knowledge that I had over my college career, my CPA career, everything that I read, and I put it into this online like virtual course. And I was like, hey, if people don't want to work with me, they can't afford to work with me, that's fine. I better have a way to still give them the knowledge that they deserve. So that's kind of what drove me to make it. And it's been a great avenue to really fulfill the quadrant of me giving back, you know?
Hey, can you tell them, could you tell them the name of your course, brother? My brother?
Oh, yeah. So the name of the course is Deduct Everything, Your Blueprint to Tax-Free Living. And again, I talk about how to invest tax-free with real estate. I talk about how to invest tax-free with the stock market. I talk about how to deduct everything as a business owner. I literally put all my tax-saving knowledge into this course because, again, man, if people just get this, and like if somebody can go from paying 40% of taxes to 10 for the rest of their life, that is hundreds of thousands of dollars of money back in their pocket. And I want that for anybody who decides to invest in themselves and grab the course or, listen to you all's podcast and get this knowledge, because there is no better investment that you can make than an investment in yourself. And that is through education.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. Hey, bro, I'm over here. My head.
Your face has been hilarious this whole time.
Bro, my head been bust, bro, because I've been over here thinking on it, and you was talking about this house, this property, this $500,000 property that you depreciate, and then I'm like, yo, this shit crazy, because this man's is depreciating and appreciating asset. So you paying less taxes on something that's becoming worth more. My head just been bust since then. I'm like, damn, bro, I ain't never really thought about it like that, but like, damn. Like, this is wild, bro. This is truly how the game is played.
This is truly how the wealthy stay wealthy, bro. And it came through reading books. Like a lot of Robert Kiyosaki has a lot of great books on this stuff, man. And if you can find ways to make money and not pay taxes and appreciate something that appreciates in value, you're killing it. Like, that's how you truly, truly become wealthy, man. So it's just understanding, man. So much knowledge out here that people don't understand. And they just got, you got to get it one way or another.
I gotta give me one, man. I gotta give me a property, man. I've been saying I need me one.
No, I call it earn in pocket, lose on paper. Like that's my strategy for because of real estate, man. You better you make money in your pocket, then you lose money on paper. Then you can deduct that income off other income sources. And I think last year, so I'm very candid about my numbers. I think I crossed $210,000 last year in overall revenue, and my tax bill was less than $5,000.
Oh.
Hello, let me get. Hey man, he trying to get like Donald Trump.
But
man.
I just want to the tax rate on a business is what it is, 21%.
Okay, I'm glad you're talking about this, so we can talk about the new income and tax rates. And things
before we even get to that, bro, I'm just trying to help people understand. 21% of $200,000, that is significantly more than $5,000. So that's just to paint a picture of for you, like how much you really could be saving here.
Yeah. So if somebody made $200,000 in a job, right, at their employer, they would probably end up paying close to $40,000 to $50,000 in taxes, right? So, and I made that through businesses and through other investments, and I paid less than $5,000, and it's because of tax planning, tax strategies, understanding the rules, right? Planning at the end of the year. Again, I do this for clients, and I really, really dive deep for myself. And so, just knowing a little bit about the tax code saved me $45,000. That's every single year, right? So it's not just 1 year, it's every year into the future.
And so there's two questions I actually have about this now. So the first one is, so being the fact that you're deducting so much, how does that not hurt the business in the long run, showing that you're at losses? How do you make sure that it still looks like this business is still thriving?
Yeah. So you want to be smart. You want to plan, right? So if you're going into a year where you're about to make an investment and you have to show income. So for this property, right, I had to show some income when I bought the property, right? So you have to think ahead. All right, I might pay more taxes this year. But I'm going to get the property, because I could have got it down to zero, but I wanted to make it enough so I could still get my property this year. And then every year I go back to zero. But to your point about how do you make the business still look like it's thriving? So, we're not spending money we're not spending money stupidly. We're investing the money in things that can grow the business next year. So I might pay my marketing team a year in advance. So I might, spend $15,000 and tell my marketing team, hey, I'm gonna pay you in December for all the next year, right? So I'm still making purchases that make sense, but I'm just making them at a time to save on taxes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely understand you. Like you're saying, you're spending before that year is out, so 2020, but you're actually paying for 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Yeah, and you if you pay an expense early, you can still deduct that expense the year you pay it. So you don't have to wait until deduct it.
Hey man, that's pressure, bro.
Game.
That's hard.
I read a lot of textbooks, dog.
Yeah, I need one of them books, man.
Okay, so I got a book recommendation for you. It's called 475 Tax Deductions. If you just Google it, it's a really easy read because this guy just goes through 475 tax deductions. You can just read through like, oh crap, I can do that. Oh crap, I can do that. So I really highly recommend that book.
Hey, most definitely. I'm gonna check it out. And if you are a business owner or want to live tax free, check it out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now I do kind of want to get into what Jalen was trying to get into earlier before I cut him off. This potential Biden tax plan. We talked about it some, but it'd be definitely good to get an industry professional's knowledge on this, man. So like, could you kind of get into the proposed tax plan? Because I know we talked about it some, and people was like, "Hey, y'all ain't get it all the way right."
Yeah, so I looked over it, but to be honest, I don't study new tax code until it's implemented because I don't want to read something and study because it's a big plan. I don't want to dive deep into it and then it doesn't happen. I just wasted 10 hours of my day. So but people, I do want to tell people is that when they see these high tax rate numbers, that's not for everybody. That's in the highest income tax bracket. So I see a lot of people, like making less than six figures complaining about this high rate. I'm like, bro, that won't apply to you. Like sit down. It does not apply to you at all. So I just want to encourage people that understanding the difference between your tax rate and the highest tax rate. So if the highest tax rate is 42% or whatever, and you don't make that type of money, then you're going to stay in your tax rate that's respective to your income. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're deducting a lot of stuff and bringing your income down, it won't really affect you. So for me, as a person that I know I manipulate my income to show what I wanted to show, I'm not really worried about a higher tax rate because I will never let my income get that high in the first place to show on my tax return.
That's cool.
Man. Y'all better get y'all fire ass CPA, man. That's all I gotta say, man. Y'all need somebody who can show y'all how to manipulate this stuff so y'all ain't gotta pay all this 42%. Because if I had to pay 42%, I'm jumping off the bridge, bro.
Oh man, they got you like that, my brother.
Man, 42%.
That's 50,
almost
$1 million. And y'all
almost
taking 400. Come on, man. No.
Yeah. So, and I tell people all the time, man, like your CPA should be free. And what I mean by that, your CPA should never charge you more than they save you. Right. Mm-hmm. So I have a money back guarantee with all my clients. If I don't save you more money than I cost you in any given year, I'll give you back the difference because that's how confident I am that. And that's, when you go to your CPA, you should be like, hey, like I have no problem paying you whatever your fees are, but will you be able to show me that you can save me more money than you cost me? And if that's the case, they work it for free.
They're supposed to be an asset, not a liability.
There you go. Preach, brother. Preach.
Hey, free game right there, man.
Hey,
so
Carter, I do have another question. It just popped in my head, man. It was like from a video I saw. We was talking about tax brackets, and it kind of made me want to dive into this more. In the video, it was kind of breaking down like how tax brackets are tiered, and like how whenever you're taxed at different tiers for like the different levels of income. Is that like? Can you explain that something for me? Because like I'm still not all the way sure on what they was trying to break down. Like they was like, so say like.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. So basically, it's broken out in tiers. So let's say, and I'm just giving preliminary numbers. Let's say 0 to 100,000, you're charged 10%, right? And then from 100,000 to 200,000, you're charged 20%, and then from 200 to 300, you're charged 30%. So what it means is that you're only charged that percentage on that tier of income. So let's say you make 150, right? 100 of your income is going to be taxed at 10%. Then that other 50 is going to be taxed at 20, not the whole 150.
Okay.
So what you want to calculate is what's called your effective tax rate, and your effective tax rate is understanding how much your income is taxed at a different rate. So just because you make $300,000 and you're in the marginal tax rate of 30%, all your income is not getting taxed at 30%. Portions of your income is being taxed at different portions of the tax rate. That help?
I got
that
you.
Help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, I'm learning a lot of shit right now. I ain't gonna lie. This man's really got my head just.
I told you it was gonna be the best interview I had. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, nah, man, you living up to it right now.
No, but I hope that helps. Again, you just want to understand that these rates are specific to how much income you have, and they change when you get married, and that when you have kids, they lower it. So just be cognizant of what your tax rate is. And moreover, you should be not worried about the tax rate, but worried about how can I get my income on my tax return to be lower. And that could be from buying real estate, from investing at the end of the year. One of the biggest investments I make every December is I buy online courses. I spend about $10,000 on online learning per year. And my thought process is, some people pay $100,000 to go to college, and they can't deduct that expense, but they won't spend $200 on a course, $500 on a course, $1,000 on a course that they can write off on their taxes. So it's really
try to make money.
And the goal is to make you smarter so that you can make more money. So I'm investing $10,000, $15,000 a year in online education, and I end up making so much more money the next year because I have a little bit more knowledge.
Hey, that's a
message.
Hey, y'all better look. Y'all better invest. That's
so I love the links in y'all bio, because like I bought 4 or 5 of the courses in you all's bio, because you're giving me a hub to see all the courses that I should be learning about from my people, right? And I absolutely love the courses that you all partner with, and I go to you all's links as one of my main resources to find the courses to take.
Hey man, we appreciate that, man.
Hey, if y'all ain't did it yet, y'all need to click them things, man.
Yeah,
learn something, man. Learn something.
Learn something, man. Y'all definitely learn something, and y'all be on the lookout for the Black Wealth Renaissance Academy. Hey, it's some pressure coming through there, so y'all definitely be on the lookout for that.
Let's go. I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that.
Yes, sir. I don't know if I got anything else, man.
You done bust your head. Hey, man.
Here, take a second to debrief. I know I do a lot of you all,
speeches right here, man.
So,
for sure.
I'm trying to think about another one, man. I'm trying to think more on this just another way people can. Man, I had one earlier too.
Okay, I got one for you. So, one of the best tax saving strategies I love to tell entrepreneurs and business owners is to turn your friends and your family into business partners, right? So what I mean by that is that if you have a niece that's good at social media, pay her to do your social media. If you got a cousin that's good at this, if you got a friend that's good at marketing, pay that friend to do marketing, because when you travel with these people, you can now deduct all traveling expenses because these are work related. So now when me and my friends go to Vegas, one of my friends is my lawyer, the other friend has my social media, and I'm writing off this expense as a business expense because it's an employee retreat. And these are ways that if you turn your friends to business partners, you're able to turn your personal vacations into business vacations. We spend a lot of money when we travel, so I'm able to now write these expenses off because I employ people who are close to me.
Hey, man.
Message.
Hey, y'all better listen. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We took us a trip this year. We went to Denver, and it's a whole business expense.
Yeah, dude. Like you all are literally business partners. So wherever you all go, whatever you all do together, y'all should be using the business account or reimbursing yourselves or whatever. But everything you all do together is a business expense because you all work together.
Now, I do want to get into, just for the people that are listening, the business owners, what are the qualifications for what you need to be doing as far as paying these people to make sure that it's going to be good for a write-off? Like, you can't just be cash apping your homeboy and be you good.
Yeah. So you want to have a good structure and you want to have good tracking, right? So if you're going to pay them through third-party site. You pay them through Gusto, through PayPal, through QuickBooks. You want to pay them through an easily trackable system. So if the IRS does come back, you can pull up, all right, go to their name. I paid Brian $10,000 for social media work last year. Here's all the invoices that I paid him over the year. And you want to have a good track. Do not cash app your business partners. Do not do that. Use a trackable source like PayPal, QuickBooks. Gusto is a good payroll provider, because you want to be able to pull these up really quickly and track them.
Yes.
Great point.
Y'all definitely
be, that out there.
Yeah. Y'all definitely look into that. We can't be hustling.
I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make too often, man.
Yeah.
Like just trying to do the business off of your mixing them business and personal funds, man. Can't do that.
You gotta separate yourself, because this is what I tell people to make them stop doing it, right? So people like to have an LLC. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna just mix my business account, my personal account, everything's gonna be fine. And I tell them, okay, if you do that, and somebody decides to sue you for, let's say litigation through business, right? And you go to court, and if the court can prove that you've been treating your business account as your personal account, or vice versa, they can do what's called pierce the corporate veil, and the court will dissolve your entity, and they can sue you personally anyway. So you can have this LLC set up, you can have this business bank account set up, but if you're not treating it well, if you're not treating it right, it will hold up in court, and they'll be able to sue you personally, take your home, take your savings, take all that. So once I tell people that, they start to switch and separate themselves usually.
Better cover y'all ass in these streets. Y'all don't want to.
Man,
y'all better get that business account.
For real.
Don't take it long to set it up. Real talk though.
Real. Yeah, plus, you can start getting business credit and different things like that once you really start setting up the correct, legit way.
Absolutely. Now you can just loan your business name, and you don't have to worry about your personal credit score getting affected,
Yes, sir. And do you have any type of experience with that, with the business credit, or getting any of your clients any type of funding like that?
Yeah, well, when the SBA stuff happened, I had, I think that when the SBA loans and the PPP money stuff came out, it really showed the effect of not having your stuff in order, because you couldn't get any loans if you didn't have a profit and loss statement, if you didn't have a tax return, if you didn't have your EIN, if you didn't have a bank account. If you didn't have any of these stuff set up, you missed out on hundreds of $1,000s of low interest money or free money. So I think that recently it showed people that you have to have your stuff together in order to get, whether it's government funding or business loan funding, right? And the greatest thing about having business credit cards is that you can leave that thing maxed out, and it doesn't affect your personal credit score at all. So you're able to separate yourself efficiently and effectively. And
can you kind of go into how some of that money was free money? Because I did hear about, some of the stuff was forgivable, and you were able to get some help with your business.
Yeah, so the PPP loan was completely forgivable. So if you were a sole business owner, let's say you're a solo business owner, you're S Corp, right? You could have got a $15,000 PPP money, and then as long as you paid yourself all that money, it was completely forgivable. So as long as the money was used for payroll or business-related expenses, it was 100% forgivable. So we had clients that got a $30,000 PPP loan. They paid themselves to $30,000 through payroll, and all the money was forgiven. So they had a free $30,000 just for having their stuff in the right order.
And I'm pretty sure they helped float them through the pandemic pretty damn good.
Pretty easily. Yeah, pretty easily.
I'm telling you, man. Some people call it a pandemic, but it really been a bandemic for some other people.
Yeah,
people that got their bread up during this thing, man.
I'm using that, man.
I gotta give credit to Ty Billy on that. He the person I like that though, the bandemic.
For real, because I think if you got your stuff together through this, man, you could really have came out on the positive end. And I know that's been the case for a lot of people.
I'm kind of sad we ain't take advantage of that PPP, man.
It's okay, man.
I was over here. At the time we was like, man, we was here by people.
I'd rather you not do it than do it the wrong way, because I've seen people do it the wrong way.
Exactly, man. We was here by the people, man. Dudes talking about, hey, man, I could get the PPP loan, man. All I need is 20%, my dog. You give me 20%, I get you the loan. They ain't even got no business, man.
Man, look, I'm telling you, IRS will be knocking at your door like, hey, man, look.
There's some folks going to jail soon.
We know you got it.
For sure.
But, man, we're going to go ahead. We're going to pivot to the last segment of the show, Carter. So, bro, we want to ask you, what's on your timeline, man? What's something that you've seen on social media that you want to speak on, bro?
Yeah, so recently, yesterday was Black Friday, right? And I just I was so proud because I saw so many Black businesses being promoted and so many people buying from their own kind, right? Instead of, people going shopping for new TVs, people were going shopping for courses, people were going shopping for different investment strategies. People were really using this Black Friday sale, at least on my timeline, in the right way by reinvesting in the Black businesses and reinvesting into themselves. So this was the first year that I really saw that, and I was so proud.
Hey man, I love to hear
it's a shift in the culture, bro. It's been a true shift, and I'm proud to see it. I know that's what's been on my timeline too, man. Seeing people invest in themselves, and I love it.
Yeah, and like you said, just supporting other Black businesses. I saw a lot of people just even sharing. They probably didn't buy, but they at least was sharing. Hey, look, you buy from this Black business, and we were just really encouraging each other to share their business if you got one. So I definitely appreciated that too, because it shows the progression of us.
1000%, man. I was so happy to see that, and hopefully that trend keeps going.
Yes, sir.
Let's keep it longer than just for a season, man. Because I think that's always been the issue. That's really truly been the issue. Like when
don't make it a trend.
Whenever it's always been like we support black businesses whenever the white businesses was making us mad. Now that shift needs to be like
we just support
black business because we need to, and we should.
Absolutely.
And they actually providing valuable goods and services, the same level of value or even a higher quality than these other vendors, and they actually probably care about you more, man.
Absolutely.
Most def. Well, my brother, man, we just want to say thank you once again for coming on our show, dropping some gems, blessing us, blessing the followers with all of that knowledge. Can you just plug yourself in and let them know where they can find you, where they can purchase your course, anything else that you would like to share?
Yeah, so if you go to cofieldconcepts.com, that's Cofield, my last name, with the S, concepts.com. All of my resources are there. You can get the course, you can get my free masterclass, you can get my podcast there. And if they want the course, they can click the link in you guys' bio. I think it's in there, right? Or if not, they can click on my Instagram, it's Cofield_advisor. Click the link in my bio. You can grab the course there as well. So I just, thank you all for being here. And it was definitely worth reschedule my fight. So I really appreciate you all making it worth it.
Hey, man, we just want to say thank you. And once again, definitely didn't want you to have to do that, but thank you for doing it, man. But this was a great episode. I really
People
enjoyed
gonna appreciate you for it, my brother. I genuinely believe it.
All right. You guys have a great day, man. And until next time, man, stay blessed.
You too, my brother. And before we get up out of here, we'll get into a few house cleaning. We just want to say thank you to everyone who comes in and week out listening to us. Thank you for helping us just grow, man. The podcast is growing so much. I want to give y'all some claps right quick. This is a moment for y'all.
Y'all the greatest, man. Y'all the shit. We love y'all.
Yeah, thank y'all for just being so great and really just being a part of our family. Y'all not really fans, y'all like our family, and we do this every weekend for y'all. So we definitely here, and we just want to say, y'all keep on sharing, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you have to do. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like. Let us know what we can improve on. If you want to watch this, we have this on YouTube also. So go over to our YouTube. You can subscribe that way, and you can watch us and just get to know our guests, our audience a little bit better. But besides that, I also want to say y'all definitely grab our book, Manage Your Money Like the 1%. You can grab our course, Credit Fundamentals, The Ultimate Guide to Understanding Your Credit. And we also have the 8 Weeks of Wealth up available for purchase right now at $200 off. So you're getting $397 course, really eight weeks of content of really actionable game, going over life insurance, going over house hacking, going over what it's like to be in great partnerships, how to start and monetize social media, how you can start a podcast. Like I said, it's some great content in there. You can get that for $47, or you can get all three of them bundled right now for $147. Look, we trying to bless y'all. We trying to help y'all out. Yeah, that's the wealth pack. Y'all go get that. That link gonna be in the bottom.
Yeah. And before we get up out of here, we gotta show some love to our family. The last review we got is from List for You, breaking it down and keeping it real. I love that y'all ask the questions that folks might be thinking, but typically don't ask. It brings clarity. Thank you for the knowledge and the uplift in our community. List, we appreciate you. We love you. We do this for y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else to say?
Nah, man.
Well, on that note, y'all, Black Oil Renaissance signing out. Peace.
I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.